Hey y'all. So we wanted to continue this RV/road trip series by giving you our top 10 apps for road trips, both in the car and RV. There's a couple of specific ones for the RV, but the rest of them work for car road trip or RV road trip. Okay, y'all. So the first app we are going to recommend, it's actually two apps, so 2 for 1. Allstays is an app that gives you a list of campgrounds. It gives you anything you can come up with as far as somewhere to park an RV, as well as information on big box stores that you can typically park at and truck stops. So Allstays or Camp Indium gives you a list of campsites, both free and paid. So you can look at all of those and see, it tells you where a dump station is. It'll give you even user reviews. It'll talk about what the cell service is like, pictures. So there's a lot of information on Camp Indium. So we go back and forth from an RV perspective between those two. Now for car road trips, we always use hotels.com, but you can always do Hotels Tonight or anything like that. So those are the ones that we would use for finding a hotel on your route. The next is Gas Buddy. Gas Buddy will tell you where your closest gas station is, and the price, so you can find the closest ones as well as what the price differences are. And as you can see, 210, 214, 216, 217, 219. So that can save you quite a bit of money if you're doing a lot of driving. If you have it on Find Your Location, it'll let you find the closest ones and tell you how far it is. Or you can just put in a city and it tells you where the least expensive gas is. So Gas Buddy is great for helping save some money on fuel. Then we use Dark Sky, is one of the ones that we use for letting us know about current weather situations. So if we are in an area that we're not familiar with, it gives us, this is Indianapolis, but it would give us information about the weather for that area. And then you can also set it to get notifications for, tornadoes, hurricanes, any of that, because a lot of times when you're in an area, if you're traveling, they may show the maps on TV, but you don't necessarily know the names of the small communities surrounding a city, or, they may say it's south of this road. Well, you don't really know where that is in comparison to where you are. So we always use something that'll give us an actual alert, and that way, you always know what's going on around you. Google Maps, I think we're all pretty familiar with Google Maps. I don't know why it's not coming up right now, but I don't know what's going on. But Google Maps is one that we're obviously all familiar with. We do use that, and we do use the offline version as well. I have no idea what's going on there, so sorry about that. But you can offload those and mark locations you want to go. So you kind of can get a route together, as well as making sure you have a map of a specific area, even if you don't have cell phone service. Tripadvisor and or Yelp are ones that we use. It can help you find restaurants. So if we just said Indianapolis and we wanted to find, restaurants, as most of you know, you can look by the meal or the type of cuisine. So you may want steak. It's going to tell you what the best steakhouses around are, and even an option to reserve. I believe that's through Open Table. Yelp will also give you all the different restaurants and reviews on those, as well as things to do and places to go in the area. Podcasts. This is just the iOS podcast. And also your music playlist. We use Amazon Music, but if it's Spotify, or any other service, Pandora, whatever you may use for music, make sure you've got some music preloaded, as well as maybe some podcasts and even audiobooks if you like those. That's a great way to pass some time. We listened to quite a few audiobooks when we were driving out west in the RV, just on long stretches that just didn't have a lot going on. So we utilize those a lot. Another one specific to an RV is Trucker Path. And I've actually got my location turned off, but Trucker Path will actually tell you, not only where maybe different truck stops are, but you can actually go in and put in your the size and the height of your vehicle. You can put in the weight, and it will tell you what roads are safe or what roads you should avoid, which is especially important if you are traveling in an RV, because particularly on the east of the Mississippi, you have a lot of low bridges. Out west, you don't have to worry about it as much, but on the east, particularly on the East Coast, you're going to have certain underpasses that you can't go under in an RV. So this really helps you figure out if your route is okay or if you need to reroute. So Trucker Path is great for an RVer. Road trippers. Road trippers will give you can put in a location and it tells you other things that may be around there, from trails to restaurants to, lookout points. It can give you campgrounds. It tells you all kinds of things that may be around, and if you zoom out, you can see other points of interest popping up. We use road trippers quite a bit, and when we're going to record a video for you guys on some suggested trips, some suggested routes, and you'll see how this works. But road trippers is great for kind of getting a general idea of what points of interest may be in an area. And you can turn on or off different points of interest that you may or may not want. They've even got guides on different areas, city guides, interstate exit guides, different road trips and camping trips that are good to take. So it's a great app, and it gives you a lot of information. Okay, so the final app is going to be Waze, which is, if you guys aren't familiar with Waze, it gives you your route, and then along the way it will tell you if there's an accident. It will reroute you. It tells you if maybe there's a speed trap. It tells you how long it's going to take you to get there. It does say 5 different police reported, so along the way it gives you all kinds of information. There's a 30-minute delay, 30 road hazards reported. So as you get closer, it gives you all of that information if you guys aren't familiar with that. So it's a great way to avoid maybe a bad backup from either road construction or an accident. It will give you the quickest route to get to wherever you're going. So if you're not just out kind of sightseeing and you need to go from point A to point B, this is a great tool to use to make sure you get there as quickly as you can without hitting a lot of traffic. And it also tells you where there may be radar being run, and making sure you don't get a ticket. So that wraps up our top apps for road trips, both via car and RV. There are, of course, a lot more apps out there and different ones we use, but we find that these are the ones that we use consistently when we're traveling and, you know, maybe aren't as familiar with the areas and that sort of thing. These apps have all come in very, very handy on many occasions, and they're the ones that we really rely on the most. So we hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure and leave them down below, and we will respond to you. But we love to hear from you guys, so we'd like to know maybe what apps you use that we missed. And if you got any value out of this video, please make sure and click the thumbs up. Also, don't forget to click the bell so you'll get notification for our next videos. And just remember, live your best life. Bye, y'all.